Hello everyone. Tonight we're about to begin a story, one not meant for the faint of heart. A story about a small rented room where laughter never stops, whether it's midnight or in the middle of fear itself. I bet you won't have the courage to listen to this one till the end. So before you start feeling scared listening to my story, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel to support me. Now tell me, where are you listening from? What time is it for you? And what are you doing as this story begins? Leave me a comment below. Now, turn off the lights, pull up your blanket, put on your headphones, and let's begin the story. I moved into room number 7 one late afternoon in September. The building sat deep inside a narrow alley, barely wide enough for 2 motorbikes to pass each other. Not too bad, I thought, just a bit damp and smelling faintly of old paint. The landlady, a woman around 50, handed me the key with a polite smile. Her voice was low, hoarse, almost a whisper. "This room hasn't had anyone in it for a long time." I smiled back, not thinking much of it. The rent was cheap, the location was close to work, that was all I needed. That evening, I cleaned up a little, hung my clothes, and lay down on the bed. The silence was so deep I could hear the clock ticking. That first night, I stayed up late because the Wi-Fi kept cutting out. My phone screen said 2:37 a.m. when I heard something. It sounded like someone laughing, a quiet, breathy chuckle. At first, I thought it was the neighbors, but no, it was close. Too close. Like someone laughing right next to my ear. A thin, dry laugh, then it stopped. I held my breath. The whole place went still, except for the ceiling fan spinning overhead. I switched on the light and stepped carefully toward the wall. Nothing. I told myself I was imagining things, but the moment I turned off the light, the laughter came again. Louder, slower, and this time, it came from inside the wall. I froze. The wall by the bed was covered in dark stains, as if it had soaked in years of moisture. I pressed my ear against it. In the darkness, I heard breathing, then a voice, so faint it could have been in my head. "Laugh." I jumped back, heart pounding, skin cold as ice. I ran outside to the hallway. Every other door was shut. No one was awake. I waited there for a long time, until I realized the laughter had stopped. The next morning, I asked the landlady, "Is something wrong with the wall in my room? Maybe an animal got stuck inside?" She smiled, a tight, closed-lip smile that hid something behind it. "No, it's just old. The walls in that room know how to make noise." That line sent chills down my spine. The walls know how to make noise. I didn't understand, and I didn't dare ask again. That night, I tried to fall asleep with music playing quietly, but at exactly 2:30 a.m., the music stopped mid-song. The laughter returned. This time, it wasn't alone. There were other sounds: tapping, dragging, something heavy being moved. I turned on my phone's flashlight, following the sound. It was as if someone was inside the wall, laughing and humming. I laughed at myself. Was I really scared of a wall? I leaned closer, examining the cracks. One of them was longer, deeper, as if pried open by force. I touched it gently. A cold draft seeped out. I pulled my hand back, feeling something sticky on my fingers. In the dim light, the substance glistened dark. Blood or paint? I couldn't tell. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the faint outline of a woman's face smiling, her grin stretching far too wide. And when morning came, the wall was damper, as though someone behind it had spent the night crying. The second night, I noticed something strange. The laughter had rhythm. Every time the clock hit 2:37 a.m., it came perfectly timed, not a second off. I never believed in ghosts, at least not before moving here, but something about that laughter chilled me to the bone. It didn't sound human. It was slow, hesitant, broken, like someone trying to learn how to imitate laughter. I recorded it with my phone. The next morning, I played it back. Only static, except for one 3-second clip. Huh, huh. Slow, uneven, unnervingly calm. I felt sick just hearing it. When I asked the other tenants, the man in room 6 said he'd never heard anything. But the girl in room 8 fell silent for a moment, then whispered, "You're in room 7, right? That one's weird. I once saw someone standing outside your door. At night." I forced a laugh. "Probably a thief." She didn't smile. That person didn't have a shadow. That night, I locked the door, drew the curtains, and tried to sleep. I dreamt of standing in the middle of the room, surrounded by walls cracking open, dozens of pale arms reaching out, clapping along to the rhythm of laughter. When I woke up, my heart was racing, and what terrified me most was the small, rusty key I found clenched in my hand. It had the number 9 engraved on it, but this building only had 8 rooms. I took it to the landlady the next morning, but she wasn't home. Her door was locked, lights off. I called her number, no answer. Her black cat sat on the steps, staring at me. That night, the laughter returned again, only now, it came from every direction. From the wall, from beneath the bed, from the window. Wherever I looked, it followed, circling me. I turned on the flashlight. The beam swept across the mirror, and for a split second, I saw someone sitting on my bed, head tilted, smiling. When I turned, the bed was empty. I cranked up the lights, blasted music, anything to drown it out. But even in the song, the laughter seeped through, faint but clear. I paused the music, replayed it. The laugh was still there, and beneath it, a whisper. "You can hear me now, can't you?" I dropped the phone. The screen went black. The room fell silent except for the ticking clock. Then, 3 soft knocks came from inside the wall. "Morning." I'd had enough. I packed my bags, called the landlady, no answer. I ran to the coffee stall at the alley's entrance and asked the owner about her. He looked at me, puzzled. "Her? She passed away last year." I froze. "That's impossible, I just talked to her 2 days ago." He frowned. "Are you sure? That building's been empty for a year." I walked back in silence. When I opened my door, the walls had been freshly repainted, clean, white. But near the bed was a faint streak of red, smeared as though someone tried to wipe something away. That night, the laughter came again. But this time, the voice followed right behind me. "Don't go. You're the only one who still hears me." When I woke up, the room was a wreck, clothes, bags, furniture scattered as if I'd fought someone in my sleep. My neck ached. My left wrist bore dark bruises shaped like fingers, and on the wall, where the laughter always came from, a new message had appeared scrawled in something dark. "Thank you for staying." I stood there, staring, my throat dry, heartbeat wild. I tried wiping it off with a wet cloth, but the harder I scrubbed, the more it spread. The color deepened, redder, thicker, dripping like fresh blood. I dropped the cloth and ran to the door. The handle twisted loose. The lock spun freely, but the door didn't open. I kicked it, screamed, pounded. No answer. Outside, silence heavy, endless, like the world had stopped existing. I turned back toward the room, and there, in the mirror, my reflection was smiling. It wasn't a nervous laugh born of fear. It was a grin, wide, twisted, unnatural. I could feel my own lips trembling. Yet, in the mirror, I was smiling. I stepped back, but my reflection stepped forward. My throat went dry. "Who are you?" I stammered. It answered in my voice, only lower, more guttural. "The one who laughs for you." Then it vanished. I collapsed into the chair, gasping for air. The walls felt closer, the room smaller, the air thick and heavy with the stench of rust and something sweet, cheap perfume. I opened the window, but no wind came in. The entire building was silent. No traffic, no people, only nothing. I didn't sleep that night. I sat there, staring at the wall where the red stain had dried. At exactly 2:37 A.M., the laughter returned, this time closer. So close it sounded like someone was breathing right beside me. I gripped the small kitchen knife in my hand. "Come out," I whispered. "I know you're there." The laughter stopped. Then a voice, soft, young, trembling, spoke from inside the wall. "Don't open it." I froze. "Who's talking?" "It's me. I'm in the wall. Don't open it, or you'll laugh for me forever." My heart slammed against my ribs. That voice wasn't like the eerie echoes from before. It was real, pained, desperate. "Why are you there?" I asked. "He trapped me," the voice whispered, weak, fading. "The one before you? The previous tenant?" "Yes." He heard the laughter too. He tried to find where it came from, and the wall ate him. I tightened my grip on the knife. Everything the landlady's words, the stories of missing tenants, suddenly made sense. But the worst part was hearing her cry, and somewhere within her sobs, someone else laughed. I couldn't stand it anymore. Whatever was in there, whoever she was, I had to get her out. I grabbed a hammer and started prying at the crack in the wall. Each strike echoed louder, sharper, as if the wall itself was enjoying it. When the plaster finally broke, a cold gust hit me in the face. Inside was a narrow, pitch-dark cavity just wide enough for a person to fit. And in the middle of it, hair. Long, tangled, human hair. I stumbled back, but the hair moved. Slowly. Then a face slid out of the shadows, my own face. I screamed, dropping the flashlight. The beam rolled across the floor, flickered, then died. In the dark, the room shook. Cracks spread along the walls, and through the noise came dozens of voices, whispering in unison. "Laugh." I blacked out. When I woke, sunlight streamed through the window. The wall was whole again, no cracks, no hole, no trace of damage, but in my hand, I was still clutching a handful of bloody black hair. I didn't know if I was in the real world anymore, or if I had become part of the wall. All day I tried to convince myself it was a hallucination, sleep deprivation, stress, imagination. But the hair in my hand was damp, cold, and smelled like rot. No rational explanation survived that smell. I stuffed it into a plastic bag and threw it in the trash outside. When I came back, it was on my table, neatly coiled, as if someone had placed it there for me. The room was mocking me. I turned on every light, opened every window, played music at full volume, anything to drown out the silence. Then, in the middle of the afternoon, 3 knocks echoed through the door. Knock, knock, knock. Same rhythm as last night. I opened it. No one there. On the doorstep lay a small object wrapped in tissue. I picked it up. Inside was a rusty key, the same kind as before, engraved with the number 9. But this time, a folded note was tied to it, trembling handwriting. "Open it, and ill be quiet." My knees gave out. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold my phone. I tried calling the police, no signal. I rushed outside, and that's when I saw it. The gate to the building was locked shut with a heavy chain. It had been open this morning. I screamed for the neighbors. No answer. All 8 rooms silent, sealed. The sunlight stretched across the cracked concrete, forming shadows that looked eerily like hands reaching out from the ground. By nightfall, I was sitting on the bed, clutching the key. I kept rereading the note. "Open it, and ill be quiet." Was it a plea for release, or a trap? 2:37 a.m. The laughter returned, no longer hesitant but clear, right beside my ear. A woman's whisper followed. "I'm still here. Don't let him hear us." My voice trembled. Him who? The man in the mirror. I turned reflexively. The mirror showed the whole room, but my reflection was facing the other way. I stepped closer. Slowly, it turned its head back toward me and smiled. A smile that stretched all the way to its cheeks. I smashed the mirror. Glass shattered, scattering across the floor. "What do you want?" I screamed. From inside the wall, a voice answered calmly. "You're on the wrong side." The room spun. The walls felt like they were closing in. Laughter layered over breathing, my breathing, its breathing. The old crack reappeared in the wall, glowing faintly. I don't know why, maybe instinct, but I took the key with the number 9 and pressed it into the crack. It fit perfectly. Click. The wall split open. But instead of darkness, a pale blue light poured out. I leaned closer. Inside was another room. The same furniture, same bed, same everything. Except in that room, I was sitting on the bed, asleep. I wanted to believe it was a dream. But when I reached through the crack, my fingers vanished. I pulled back too late. A hand shot out from inside, grabbed my wrist, It yanked hard. I fell forward, head first, into the wall. Everything blurred my room. The other room switching back and forth, faster and faster. The woman's voice sobbed. He pulled me in the same way. "Do you understand now?" I screamed, yanking my arm free. The hand let go, and for one instant, before the wall sealed shut, I saw her face. Eyes rolled white, smile soaked in blood, then silence. I turned, or thought I did, and saw, in the shards of broken glass, a shadow behind me, head bowed, grinning. I didn't move, couldn't. The whisper brushed against my ear, cold, soft, final. "Now it's your turn." I don't remember blacking out. When I opened my eyes, sunlight filled the room. Still, silent, no fan, no traffic, nothing. I stood up slowly. My neck ached, bruised, as if gripped by a hand. The wall where the crack had been was smooth again, no sign of damage. But the key with the number 9 was still in my hand. I was sure he had dropped it. The room was unchanged. Except for one thing. On the table lay a photograph I had never seen. It showed my room, from above, and in the picture, I was sleeping. Beneath it, a handwritten note. "You look so peaceful when you can't hear anything." My blood froze. I scanned the ceiling, no camera, no hidden devices. Who took this photo, and when? I ran outside, the gate was still chained shut. The world beyond was silent, unmoving. I shouted for help, but only my own voice echoed back. Then I heard it again, laughter. In broad daylight, for the first time, it happens while the sun is still up. The laughter spills out from the room into the corridor, echoing in the air like it's teasing me. I spin around and throw the photo to the floor. But right then, the image changes. It no longer shows me sleeping. Now it shows me standing, staring at the wall. My throat goes dry for no reason I can explain. I whisper, "What do you want?" A woman's voice answers, sounding as if it's coming from inside the picture. "I want you to hear my real laugh." I toss the photo into the trash, but a few seconds later, another photo appears on the table. Same room, same angle, except this time, I'm smiling. I don't know what to believe anymore. I rush into the bathroom and splash water on my face, but when I look up, my reflection doesn't follow. It keeps its head bowed, lips slightly parted. A small voice seeps out from the mirror. You know, the laughter doesn't come from me. I freeze. Then who? It's you. I stumble backward, panic flooding my chest. Everything in my head spins: the laughter, the dreams, the girl in the wall, and my own voice echoing back at me. I tell myself I have to get out. I smash the mirror, unhook the window latch, and try to climb out. But the moment I stick my head through, I see another boarding house, identical to mine. Same 8 rooms, same layout, and standing in the yard outside is me. He looks up and smiles. Don't bother them. They're sleeping so well. I jerk my head back in, crashing onto the floor. The walls start to crack. A whisper spreads through the room, coming from everywhere at once. Do you hear it now? The laughter doesn't belong to anyone else. It feeds on you. I grab my phone to record, to prove I'm not insane. But when I play it back, all I hear is my own voice, giggling softly for 3 full minutes, with one sentence woven into it. Tonight, you'll understand. My whole body trembles. I throw the phone away, but the laughter doesn't stop. It's not coming from the walls, not from the mirror. It's coming from inside my chest, a tiny, dry sound, slowly morphing into the girl's laugh from inside the wall. I claw at my chest, holding my breath, trying to silence it. But the more I try, the clearer it becomes. And then I realize, she isn't trapped in the wall anymore. She's inside me. I scream. I rake my nails across the wall until my fingers bleed. The lights flicker. The photo on the table begins to smolder on its own. Through the thin veil of smoke, I see my own shadow swaying gently in time with the laughter, and the voice rings out one last time that night. Now you can hear it clearly, can't you? I wake up on the floor. My throat burns. My mouth is dry. Morning light filters through the narrow window, painting the room in a pale, ashy gray. I drag myself up, my head pounding. Everything is a mess, furniture knocked over, clothes scattered like someone trashed the place in a fight. But somewhere deep down, I know that someone was me. The air feels heavy, metallic. A damp, sour smell mixed with old perfume clings to my skin, impossible to wash away. I walk slowly around the room, forcing myself to breathe evenly. The walls look untouched now, no cracks, no stains, no laughter. But the silence is worse than the noise ever was. I check my phone, no signal. The black screen reflects my face, eyes sunken, dark circles, like I haven't slept in weeks. And then I see it, something that freezes my blood. My lips are curved up, even though I'm not smiling. I drop the phone and stagger back. A tiny voice whispers in my head, not mine, hers. See? We're starting to look alike. I shout, "Get out of my head." She answers, soft as a breath passing over the back of my neck. "You're the one who let me in." I rummage through the drawer, searching for the missing girl's old journal, the one I'd hidden away. The drawer is empty. Only the key with the number 9 lies there now, next to a new scrap of paper. Every time you laugh, I come back. I fling it away and race to the door. This time, it opens. It feels like someone has decided to allow me to leave. I run down the hallway, pounding on each door. No one answers. I kick in the door to room 6. Inside is nothing but dust and cobwebs. I go to room 8, where the young woman once told me she'd seen someone outside my door. The room is empty, but on the wall, written in bright lipstick, are the words, "Never trust your own laughter." I stand still, throat tight. The letters still glisten, as if freshly written. I can feel someone behind me. I turn nothing, but in the mirror by the door, my reflection is still facing the other way. I stop breathing. The reflection takes one slow step toward me while I remain frozen. It raises its hand and points straight at me. From its lips comes a harsh, dragging sound. 2:37. My legs give out. Ice spreads through my veins. I know it's coming back tonight. I run back to my room, lock the door, and shove a table against it. I grab nails, a hammer, anything, and start sealing every crack in the wall, covering the mirror with a blanket. But when night falls, the laughter returns, slipping through every gap I can't see, through the wood, through the floor, through the air itself. At first it's far away, then closer, closer, until I can feel its breath on the back of my neck. I whirl around, nobody there. A wet, sticky drop lands on my face. I wipe it away. Blood. Another drop falls. I look up. A dark stain spreads slowly across the ceiling, dripping, one drop at a time. I turn on the light. The dim bulb flickers and hums, and in that trembling light, I see it. In the center of the ceiling, an eye has opened. It stares straight down at me, pupil blown wide, with a thin, crooked smile drawn right beside it. I bolt for the door. The lock is already open. I sprint into the hallway, barefoot, heart hammering. But the corridor is pitch black, stretching on forever. The more I run, the farther the exit seems. Door after door lines the walls all the same, repeating endlessly, as if I'm trapped in a loop that never ends. Laughter erupts all around me, from the ceiling, from the floor, from inside me. I'm surrounded by dozens of voices, my voice, her voice layered on top of each other, forming a twisted choir. Then suddenly, everything stops. I open my eyes and I'm standing in the middle of my room. Everything is neat, clean, no blood, no cracks, no laughter. I walk slowly toward the mirror. My reflection smiles, winks, and whispers. We're on the same side now, remember? I collapse, laughing through tears, and for the first time, I understand. The laughter I've been hearing all this time was never really coming from the wall. It was my own memories, something inside the mirror using them to call me back. I no longer know what day it is, or if days even pass here. Every time I wake up, the light outside the window is the same washed-out gray, as if time itself has stopped. The clock on the wall has given up. Its minute hand is stuck at the same old mark. 2:37. I sit on the bed, holding the key with the number 9 inches my hand. The cold metal feels like it has a will of its own. Every time I try to throw it away, it reappears a few minutes later on the table, under my pillow, or in my pocket, even when I'm sure I never put it there. I don't hear the laughter in the mornings anymore, but the room is still alive. I can feel it. The floor trembles now and then. Cold drafts blow from invisible cracks, and that old perfume still lingers in the air, no longer sweet, but thick and heavy, like the smell of something that died a long time ago and never left. Around noon, there's a knock at the door. 3 times. Soft, same rhythm. I walk over carefully. "Who's there?" I ask quietly. Silence. I peek through the peephole. The hallway is empty, but when I turn away, a thin sheet of paper slides in under the door. I pick it up, heart pounding. The shaky pencil line reads, "Don't trust anyone who has your face." A chill runs through me. I clutch the note with both hands. In that instant, my phone turns on by itself. The screen lights up. A video is playing the camera from my room. It's filming me, standing there holding that very note, staring straight into the lens. But what freezes me in place is this. The video is live, and behind the me on the screen stands someone else, also me, smiling. I drop the phone. The screen shatters, but the distorted voice still leaks out from the broken speaker. "You're doing well. We're almost ready to switch." I back into the corner, trying to steady my breath. I think about smashing the walls, running, burning the place down, but some stubborn part of my mind whispers that if I break anything, it will finally get out. I feel like I'm guarding a door for something ancient, something buried deep in these walls for decades. I remember the missing girl's journal, the few pages I managed to read before it vanished. Suddenly it hits me. Every tenant who heard the laughter disappeared on the 7th day. Today is my 7th. I grab the door handle, determined to run even if I have to rip the gate off with my bare hands. But when I step into the hallway, there are no longer 8 rooms, just 2. My room, and across from it, room 9. The door to room 9 is slightly open. Inside is pure darkness, with a weak light shining from somewhere deep within, like a flashlight pointed out from inside the wall. I hear a woman's voice call softly, "Hey, I'm here. Please, save me." I can't stop myself. Each step I take makes the floorboards creak underfoot. I stop at the threshold. The stench hits me first, a heavy, rotting smell, mixed with the steady drip of something wet. I turn on my phone's flashlight. The beam sweeps across the room and my heart nearly stops. Every inch of the walls and floor is covered with photographs, all of them of me. Me sleeping, me eating, me sitting, me staring in fear at the walls. Hundreds of angles, hundreds of moments. In the center of the room stands a large round mirror, but it doesn't reflect me. In the glass sits a girl, long hair, blank white eyes, facing the wall, her shoulders shaking gently, in time with her laughter. I stumble back, terrified. Her voice floats out again. "Open it. Just once, and it'll be quiet forever." Tears sting my eyes. I shake my head. "No, you're not her." In the mirror, the girl turns her head. Her face is half shadow, half flesh, her mouth stretching into a grin that reaches all the way to her ears. She whispers, "I was never in the wall, you know. You're the one who's trapped." The entire room shudders. The mirror explodes, shards flying everywhere. 100 voices burst into wild laughter, pounding through the walls, the ceiling, as if the whole building has finally woken up. And before I can run, a pale hand reaches out from the nearest photograph, the one where I'm standing in this exact spot. I scream, but the sound feels like it's being sucked back into my lungs. The white hand grabs my collar and yanks me forward. My whole body flies toward the picture, and instead of slamming into the wall, I pass straight through it. The first thing I feel is cold. Not the cold of wind, but a damp, thick cold, like I've fallen straight into the ground. I push myself up in the dark, panting, trying to steady myself. No more stench, no more light, just endless black and laughter echoing from every direction. "So, you finally came in." Her voice, the girl's voice, brushes right past my ear. I whip around. No one there. I shine my phone's light ahead. A long hallway appears damp, moldy, wires snaking overhead, lined on both sides with identical doors, numbered from 1 to 9. I realize this isn't my boarding house anymore. The air here is heavier, thicker, and with every step I take, the floor squelches under my feet, like I'm walking on wet earth. Door number 7 is slightly open. I walk toward it, hand shaking. When I push it, I freeze. Inside is my room. Every detail is the same. The bed, the table, the blanket I tossed aside in a mess still there. But there's one difference. On the bed, I'm lying there, asleep. I stand motionless, my throat tight. The me on the bed is breathing steadily, lips moving slightly, eyes twitching beneath the lids. I want to shake him awake, but as I step closer, a soft giggle ripples through the room. Not from the girl, from me, the one on the bed. "Don't wake him up." The woman's voice speaks from the corner. I turn. She's sitting on a chair, hair hanging over her face, both hands stained with blood, eyes hollow but lips still curled in a smile. She continues, calm, almost like a lullaby. Hez dreaming of getting out. But if he wakes up, well, have to switch. I stumble back, the beam of my phone catching her face. Pale, almost gray, lips cracked and dry, a deep bruise circling her neck like a rope mark. I stammer, Who are you?" She tilts her head, smiling. "The last one who heard the laughter. Now it's your turn." I bolt toward the door, but the door is gone. Just a cold, solid wall. I slam my fists against it, screaming, but nothing happens. When I turn around, the room is gone too. Only darkness remains, thick, endless, with no up or down. I hear footsteps behind me, slow, steady, heavy. Each step feels like it lands right on my chest. I spin around, phone light flickering across a face. My face, except his lips are smeared with blood, and his eyes are empty pits of black. He smiles. "Told you. Only one of us gets to stay on this side." He walks closer, raising a hand to rest on my shoulder. The moment he touches me, pain explodes in my skull. Every image I've seen shatters at once. The landlady, the laughter, the wall, the girl. All of it merges into a single blinding white flash. I fall. When I open my eyes, I'm back in my room, the familiar ceiling, the dim light, the smell of old paint. I exhale, shaky, convincing myself it was just a dream. I get up and look in the mirror, and freeze. The mirror doesn't show me. It shows him, the man from the dark hallway. He smiles, lifts his hand, and presses his palm against the glass. On instinct, I raise my own hand to meet it. The moment my fingertips touch the mirror, his hand passes through and closes tight around my throat. He yanks hard. This time, the glass doesn't break. The only sound is a sickening crack, like a bone snapping. I claw at his arm, struggling, but the grip only tightens. He looks into my eyes and whispers, "Don't worry. You can rest now. I'll do the laughing for you." I slam my fists into the mirror with everything I've got, a deafening bang. Then darkness. When I open my eyes again, I'm sitting at the desk in my room. Everything feels strangely light. No fear, no cold, just a calm numbness, like waking from a long sleep. Only one thing is wrong. In the mirror, the person looking back at me is blinking out of sync with me, and from the corner of the room, I hear laughter, soft, gentle, warm, exactly like my own voice. The next morning, sunlight spills into the room, warm, gentle, comforting. Everything looks so normal I almost convince myself it was all a nightmare. The mirror shows me still me, just with slightly darker under eyes and the corners of my mouth lifted, as if I'm smiling without noticing. I make coffee, open the window. Fresh air rushes in. I can hear traffic, people talking, life moving on outside. Strange. I don't remember hearing any of these sounds for days. I step into the hallway. Sunlight splashes across the cracked cement, patchy but familiar. The neighboring rooms seem occupied again, voices, laughter, the sound of dishes clinking, TV chatter. Maybe I really did get out. I tell myself, smiling faintly. When I go back to my room, There's a letter on the table, neatly placed, as if it's been waiting there all morning. The paper is yellowed, the handwriting rounded and tidy. Welcome back. No signature, no sender. I set it down, my heart beating a little faster. Maybe it's a prank, I think. I put on some music, sip my coffee, forcing myself to act normal. But then I notice something that makes my skin crawl. My coffee cup is full again, even though I clearly remember drinking most of it. I set the cup down and stare. Steam curls up from the surface, and in that thin white trail, I smell it. That same perfume, her perfume. I step back. The room falls quiet. The light flickers. Somewhere inside the walls, I hear a faint clacking sound. I scan the room. The wardrobe door is shaking slightly. I walk over and pull it open. Darkness inside, only empty hangers, and at the very back a thin red streak seeping from the ceiling, dripping slowly onto the floor. No way, I whisper, then rush to grab a cloth. But when I return, the red stain is gone. In its place, written in water, spreading slowly across the floorboards, are the words, "Have you laughed yet?" I freeze. My heart pounds in my ears. Before I can react, my phone lights up on the table by itself. A notification pops up. New message from myself. My hands shake as I open it. Only one line. Don't let them know you've switched. The phone screen goes black. I slump into the chair, dizzy. Switched? What does that even mean? I look around. Everything is exactly where it should be. But it all feels different, brighter, sharper, and heavier, as if the air itself has thickened. I walk up to the mirror. The reflection is almost blinding, too clear, too clean. I'm smiling. I tilt my head to the left. The reflection doesn't move. It just stands there, smile widening. I touch the glass. It's freezing cold. The reflection whispers, "Thank you." Now I can laugh. I stumble backward. A thin crack splits the mirror from top to bottom, bisecting my face, one half still mine, the other half wearing her smile. A knock at the door. 3 taps. I jump, snapping my head toward it. A man stands outside, tall, wearing a black coat, smiling politely. "Sorry to bother you. I'm with the police. You're the tenant in room 7, right?" I nod, trying to calm my voice. "We're investigating a missing person. A woman named Tram. She lived in this room before you." My throat closes up. I heard about her." He looks around the room, frowning. "Strange. Our records show this place was sealed off. How did you get a key?" I swallow hard. "The landlady rented it to me." He furrows his brow. "What landlady? This building's been abandoned for 2 years." My heart stops. I glance at the hallway. No sunlight, no voices. The entire building is dark, every door tightly shut. I turn back. The policeman is gone. On the table lies his ID card instead, soaked through. Lieutenant Trum, missing, 2024. I stumble back, legs weak. A soft laugh curls up behind me, long, thin, neither fully male nor fully female. I whirl around. The mirror is whole again. No crack, just me, standing there, smiling. We're all staying, aren't we? The voice comes from my own mouth. I don't know how long I've been in this room anymore. Day and night have melted into one thick blur. All that remains is the sound of the clock, its hands frozen at 2:37. Time never moves, and I'm not sure if I ever do, either. Everything seems to be rotting slowly. The pillow, the blanket, the walls, the floor, all of it has turned the same damp, grayish color. I can feel my own body changing too. My skin is cold, my arms and legs heavy, and every breath I exhale fogs the air, even though it isn't cold outside. I think about that letter, "Welcome back." Maybe I'm not the one who walked into this place anymore. Maybe I'm just what's left. The thought makes me sick, but in a strange way, it's comforting. At least now I understand why the others disappeared. They didn't leave. They just became part of this place. That night, I hear footsteps in the hallway. Not fast, not slow, just steady, each step landing straight in my chest. I crack the door open. A figure walks past, narrow shoulders, long hair, wearing a crumpled white dress. She stops in front of my room without turning her head and says softly, "Can you hear the laughter yet?" I freeze. "I always hear it," I answer. "Then you hear it too," she replies, her voice level and light, like a tired breath. I can't stop laughing anymore. I open my mouth to ask more, but she turns around. Her face is blank. No eyes, no nose. Just one long, gaping smile. I slam the door shut, back pressed hard against the wall, heart racing. From the other side of the door, her voice continues a broken lullaby. "Don't close it. If you laugh, it'll go." I stay silent. I'm afraid that if I make even the smallest sound, if even a single chuckle slips out, whatever is out there will step inside. But then, in the middle of that silence, another laugh rises, this time from inside the room. I turn my head. The mirror. In the mirror, I'm sitting on the bed, shoulders shaking gently as I laugh. But in reality, I'm still standing, frozen, not moving an inch. The me in the mirror looks up at me, eyes locked on mine, mouth stretching all the way to the sides of its face, showing every perfect white tooth. Laugh, and it'll leave. The voice echoes. I don't know if it's coming from the mirror or from inside my head. I scream, "Get out of me!" and slam my fists into the glass. The mirror shatters, but the shards don't fall. They float in the air around me, each fragment reflecting a different version of my face. Every version is smiling. I'm surrounded by my own laughter, bouncing off every surface. Each sound feels like a needle stabbing into my ears. I clamp my hands over them, but it doesn't help. The laughter grows louder, thicker, until I feel it pouring out of my own throat. I laugh. I don't know why my face stretches on its own. My jaw shakes, and a long, uncontrollable laugh rips out of me. I try to scream, but all that comes out is a distorted sound, half laugh, half sob, half laughing, half crying. The sound spins around the room, so warped that even I can't recognize my own voice. My throat burns, my cheeks twitch, but my face doesn't stop. With every laugh that escapes, the walls tremble like the room is waking up with me. Then, a soft knock at the door. 3 times, I stop, gasping for breath. The door creaks open just a little. No one comes in, only a scrap of paper floats gently to the floor. I pick it up. The handwriting is jagged, scrawled in dark red ink. "You've been here long enough. It's someone else's turn." I look around, dazed. Someone else who? Then I hear footsteps outside, light, even. Someone dragging a suitcase, the wheels scraping along the old concrete. A distant voice floats in from the alley. "Room 7, right? I can rent this one?" A young woman's voice, bright, clear. A sound I thought I'd forgotten. I run to the door, but what I see isn't a door anymore. It's a smooth, perfect mirror. On the other side of the glass, I see a young woman standing in front of the boarding house, looking around with a smile. Beside her stands the landlady, the same one I thought was dead, opening the gate cheerfully. "This room's been empty for a long time, but it's nice and clean. You'll like it." I pound on the glass. "Don't go in. Don't. Stay here." I scream until my voice shreds, but no sound crosses over. The mirror doesn't shake, doesn't crack. It just reflects me, gaunt, sunken eyes, skin gray, lips twisted into a stiff, carved-on smile. Outside, the girl looks around. She tilts her head and says to the landlady, "I thought I heard someone laughing inside." The landlady answers, in that same familiar tone. "Ah, the walls here like to make noise." My heart clenches. The scene in front of me plays out exactly like my first night. The same words, the same angle of light, the same feeling, like someone has rewound the tape and hit play again. I slam my fists against the glass, shouting until my voice disappears, but every sound is swallowed. The girl opens the door and steps into the room. The air around me freezes. I stumble back, watching helplessly as, on the other side of the mirror, she sets her suitcase down, sits on the bed, and smiles just like I did. The bulb flickers overhead, then she lifts her head, her eyes staring straight at me through the glass. In that moment, I understand. The mirror I'm looking into is her wall. I'm on the other side now, and she's taking my place. I try to scream, but no sound comes out. Only that crooked smile, carved too deep into my face, refuses to fade. The glass on her side quivers slightly, then goes still. On this side, I stand motionless as the darkness swallows everything. On her side, the girl lies back on the bed and sighs softly. 2:37 a.m. The first laugh breaks the silence. She jolts upright, eyes wide. That's weird. Is someone laughing? My lips move in the dark. My voice spreads through the wall, thin and broken, like a distant echo. Laugh, so I can rest. I stand in the dark, eyes finally used to the pitch black. I don't feel the weight of my body anymore. This space has no real sound, only echoes stretching on forever, like each breath I take is bouncing inside the wall itself. I know now I'm no longer out there. I'm inside the wall. No cold, no heat, no air. Only the smell of rust and mold swirling all around me. I move my hand, the surface around me is soft, like skin, then hardens slowly beneath my touch. On the other side, through the thin layer of plaster, I hear everything. The suitcase wheels, the door closing, the soft footsteps of the new girl. Every time she laughs, a thin line of light seeps through a crack, shining on my face, pale, hollow-eyed, lips cracked, still forced into that rigid smile. Her voice comes through clear, close. This room is kinda cute, just a little damp. I want to scream. I want to pound the wall until it breaks. But every time I try, the sound twists into quiet giggling, not my voice, hers, the girl before. She's still here, in the wall, with me. I hear her. So close it feels like she's pressed against my shoulder. See? I told you. We never really get out. I bite my lip, trying to stay calm. "I'll find a way," I whisper. "Find a way where?" She laughs, a sound like wind whistling through a crack. "Out there is just a copy. Everyone who comes in leaves a laugh behind and gets locked inside it." I breathe harder. The wall around me moves. It swells and contracts with every laugh from the other side. Outside, the new girl hums as she unpacks. The tune is familiar, too familiar. It's the exact same song I hummed. My first night here. Somewhere in me, I know. The circle has started again. Only this time, I'm not the one on the bed. I'm the laughter. She stops humming and whispers, "Is someone in here?" I hold my breath. She presses her ear against the wall right where my head is resting. "Is anyone listening?" In that moment, a strange instinct rises inside me. I want to answer her, to tell her not to stay here, but my lips curl up on their own, and another sound comes out instead. "Laugh." I clamp my hand over my mouth, but it's too late. She jerks back. My heart twists. From the other side, her voice trembles. Did someone say something? I thought I heard someone telling me to laugh. I press my palms against the wall, tears spilling over. "I'm sorry. Don't listen. I'm sorry." I whisper, but my voice doesn't come out. Instead, a dry, brittle laugh crackles through the darkness. In the shadows, the previous girl speaks again. "See? Now you understand. The laughter doesn't belong to anyone. It just finds someone to live in." On the other side, the new girl takes out her phone to record. I see her flashlight sweep over the wall. The beam pierces the murky layer, shining straight into my face. She stops, eyes going wide, then screams, "There's someone in the wall!" I slam my fists into the inner surface, screaming, "Get out! Run!" But from my mouth, another voice pours out, a woman's voice. "Stay. Hes lonely." The darkness shifts. The wall turns soft, damp, as if it's breathing. The girl panics, fumbling with the door, but it's already locked. I watch her shadow run around the room, the ceiling lights flickering, the glow dancing across the very spot where I'm trapped. Then, when the clock on her side hits 2:37 a.m., I hear it laughter. Not mine, not the previous girl's, hers. At first shaky, then clearer, steady. I understand. The circle has started again. It'll be pushed further back. My voice will fade into the wall, and her laughter will replace mine. I close my eyes. My last breath dissolves into the cold brick. The older girl's voice brushes past me, soft as mist. You laughed already. Now rest. I can't feel my body anymore. Only a heavy, blurry kind of breathing floating in a space that feels half dream, half real. The laughter is still here, circling somewhere close. But this time it isn't frightening. It's just there like a slow, steady heartbeat. Calm in a way that makes your skin crawl. Time inside the wall doesn't move like it does outside. Everything stretches out, thickens. I don't feel hunger. I don't feel thirst. I only feel one thing. I want someone to hear me. Not to save me, just so I won't be forgotten. I don't know how long passes. Then suddenly, a new sound breaks in, hammering. Someone is repairing the wall. Or breaking it. I press my ear against the plaster. A man's voice grumbles. This room's too damp. Tomorrow, well, knock this out and redo it for the new guest. New guest. Another person. I open my mouth, wanting to yell don't, but only a raspy, broken laugh comes out. The plaster around me trembles. Chunks start to fall away. Thin slivers of light seep in. I see the construction worker's face. He looks up, startled. Huh, what's in here? The light stabs straight into my eyes. Pain lances through me. I reach out, touching the beam, and at that exact moment, I hear the new girl, the one who replaced me, screaming outside. Don't open it! Don't open it! But it's too late. A huge section of wall collapses. He sees me. His face drains of color. His mouth opens, but no words come out. I don't see blood. I don't see anything, only light, spreading, swallowing everything. In an instant, I'm no longer inside the wall. I'm standing in the middle of room 7, dust swirling, hammer blows still echoing. The worker drops his tools and runs, terrified. I look down at my hands, clean, whole, warm. I touch the table, the window, the mirror. Everything is solid, real. I tremble, letting out a shaky laugh, half joy, half fear. Then, from the mirror, a familiar voice drifts out, the girl who was trapped with me. Welcome back, my love. I flinch and look into the glass. She's standing behind me in the reflection, smiling gently, her eyes clear now, no longer clouded white. I got out? I ask, my voice raw. She tilts her head. Out? You think getting out of the wall means getting out of the laughter? I back away. The room suddenly brightens, walls freshly painted, floor dry and clean. But I realize I can't breathe. The air is heavy as lead. She steps closer, fingertips brushing my cheek. You've taken my place. Now you're the one who keeps the laughter. I'm leaving. No, I don't want this, I shout. You don't get to choose, she whispers, her lips almost touching my ear. As soon as someone laughs, the laughter will call you. She disappears. I collapse onto the floor, choking. When I finally look up, the mirror reflects only me, but the face in the glass isn't really mine anymore. The eyes are deep black, the lips split at the corners. A red line stretches from the edge of my mouth toward my cheek, like a smile carved with a knife. That night, I sit in the middle of the room, hands gripping my head, listening to the wind howl outside the hallway. But inside that wind, there's still a sound I know too well, someone laughing, softly, steadily, exactly at 2:37 a.m. I realize it isn't echoing from the walls anymore. It's coming from my own throat. The days after that, I live like a shadow inside the room. Time drips by so slowly I can hear every droplet from the leaky faucet, every breath of air slipping through the doorframe. I get used to the darkness, to the smell of mold, and to the constant feeling that someone is standing right behind me and am too afraid to turn around. Every night at 2:37, the laughter returns. It doesn't come from anywhere around me anymore, it comes from inside my head, like a second heartbeat. At first I hold my breath, trying not to laugh with it, but slowly, inevitably, I feel my lips twitch, my jaw tremble, and a quiet laugh slips out, natural as breathing. I can't stop it. In the morning, strange stains spread across the wall like veins, thin lines of red and gray crawling under the paint. I touch them. The paint is soft, like human skin. From inside, a whisper bleeds through. You're doing well. You're taking my place. I jerk my hand away, shouting, "I don't want to take anyone's place." The female voice answers, calm and steady. Everyone says that at first. Panic surges. I shove furniture aside and sprint for the door. My hands twist the knob, slam against the wood, but it won't open. I peer through the tiny gap. There's daylight outside. People are moving around. A middle-aged woman's voice floats down the hall, painfully familiar. "This room's already rented. You can move in." I go numb. A new girl stands outside the door, her hair tied up, smiling brightly. "This is room 7, right?" "Yes. It's a good room, just a little old." "You can fix it up and it'll be fine," the landlady answers, her voice as hoarse as the first night I heard it. I pound the door. "Don't, come in. Don't, stay here." I scream until my throat burns raw, but on the other side, no one hears. I watch the girl's hand reach for the knob. Light spills in, shining straight onto my face. I step back, squinting. The light isn't warm, isn't soft. It's cold like the lights in an operating room, pale and shadowless. The new girl enters, sets her suitcase down, and glances around. "Did someone live here before me?" she asks. The landlady answers, her voice thick. "Someone did, long ago. They moved out in the middle of the night. No one knows where they went." From inside, I watch through the wall like looking through water. Her movements blur at the edges. I shout, "Don't believe her. She's dead." But my lips make no sound. All I hear is my own voice echoing back at me, distorted, warped into laughter. The girl chuckles softly. "This is kinda cute. I think he'll sleep well here. I want to throw something, break something, make a noise, anything." I grab a brick and smash it against the wall, but every hit only makes one sound. Laughter. Cold, brittle. Like someone laughing directly inside my skull. The ceiling light flicks on. She looks around, frowning. Weird. I didn't turn that on. She walks toward the wall right where I'm standing. I see her clearly now, her eyes, her breath. A tiny flicker of fear hiding behind her gaze, like she knows something is here. I whisper, forcing every bit of strength into my voice. "Get out of here." She flinches, stepping back. Who said that?" I suck in a breath and press both hands against the inner surface, trying to push through. But the plaster thickens, soft as mud, swallowing my fingers. I yank my hand back. It's covered in thick, black slime. The stench hits me. I stagger away, shaking, and right then, from somewhere deep in the wall, the previous girl's voice rises, sweet and sing-song. "Don't worry. You'll get used to it. I tried to save them too." "Shut up." I scream, but it comes out as laughter. On her side, the new girl panics, inching toward the door. But the door closes gently, as if someone outside is holding it shut. She pounds on it. "Hello? Please open the door. Is anyone there?" No answer. Then the light goes out. Darkness swallows everything. I feel my heart race, then stop. The room is pitch black. Laughter mine, the old girl's, and someone else's joins together, twisting into a grotesque chorus. The young woman sobs. Who's here with me?" A voice, my voice, but coming from inside the wall, replies, "I'm here. Don't be afraid. We're just laughing." I drop to my knees, clutching my head. I can't control my mouth anymore. My lips curl, my cheeks stretch, my chin trembles, and from deep inside my throat, the laughter pours out, hoarse, weak, endless. The wall trembles. Bricks fall. She screams, then falls silent. Everything stops. No breathing. No footsteps. Only silence. After a while, I hear the outer door open in the hallway. The landlady's voice floats in, warm and calm. "Where'd the girl go?" "Must've left." The walls are laughing again. The door closes. The room glows faintly. The wall is smooth, freshly painted. I look around, no girl anywhere. But inside the wall, something glints, a small white hand, still wearing a ring. I understand. Another one has joined us, and when the clock's hand clicks over to 2:37, I, or whatever used to be me, start laughing. The sound is lower now, more tired, but it rolls evenly through the room. Somewhere in the middle of that space, Another female voice whispers faint, fragile, just newly arrived. "I'm sorry. I just wanted to hear someone laugh." I begin to forget what my real voice sounded like. Every time I try to remember the way I used to speak, all that comes back is a hoarse, warped laugh. Sometimes I hear myself talking, but it isn't my thoughts. It's old memories, replaying over and over. Fragments of conversations loop in my head like a broken tape. "Do you hear it yet? Laugh. These walls just like to make noise, miss. They all blend into a single rhythmic chain of sound." I understand. In becoming part of the echo in this room, time passes, or more accurately, time stops in a way I can no longer measure. I don't sleep, I don't eat, I don't breathe, but I still exist. I see, I hear, and I feel every person who steps into this room. After the young girl, a married couple moves in. They hang their wedding photo on the wall, clean the place up, laugh together. Their voices are warm, full of life. From inside the plaster, I watch them. Every time they laugh, I feel something in me loosen as if their laughter is pouring into me, awakening whatever shred of human I still have left. I want to say, "Don't stay here," but the wall swallows every attempt. When I try to knock, each hit turns into a soft ha 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 instead. The couple hears it and chuckles. This room is so weird it really does echo. Their first night passes peacefully, but at exactly 2:37 a.m., I hear a soft groan. The wife jolts awake. She sits up and flips on the light. The glow spills across the wall. On the fresh paint, there are faint handprints, damp, cold, slowly fading. She shakes her husband. He doesn't move. His face is pale. His lips curve slightly like he's smiling in his sleep. I pound on the wall, desperate. "Wake up." No one hears. The wife clings to him, sobbing, calling his name over and over. Her crying echoes around the room, slamming into me, cracking everything inside. I hear other voices in the wall, the first girl, the middle-aged woman, myself all whispering together, "Hell be laughing soon." And then, the husband begins to tremble. A rough laugh bursts from his throat. The wife staggers back in terror. Honey, what's wrong?" He doesn't answer. He just looks at her, eyes wide, and laughs. A deep, long, crooked laugh, showing all his teeth, stretching all the way toward his ears. I squeeze my eyes shut, unable to watch. I hear her screams, furniture crashing, the door flung open, then silence. When I open my eyes again, the wall where I stand ripples like water. The husband's image appears there, empty eyes, that permanent carved smile standing with us, inside the cold brick. The first girl's voice murmurs, "One more. Now you're not lonely anymore." I ask quietly, "Then what about his wife?" The original girl smiles. She's learning how to laugh. On the other side of the wall, I hear the wife's voice rise. At first, it's just sobbing, then slowly, it warps into something familiar, shaky, then steady, drawn out. Huh. The whole room shakes. I feel the breath of every soul around me merge into one rhythm. I whisper, not even sure why, in a voice thin as air, "When does it stop?" And the first girl answers, distant, gentle like a lullaby. When people stop wanting to laugh, I've long since lost count of how many people have come and gone from room 7. Every face, every voice, every breath eventually dissolves into a single sound, laughter. This room has become a living creature, and I am just a vein in its body. The young couple is gone. I see them one last time as the wall swallows them whole, leaving only a long red streak behind, like a smear of lipstick across the plaster. After that, the building falls silent for months. No footsteps, no voices, only the wind whistling past the narrow window. I think maybe it'll finally get to sleep. But no, whenever it gets quiet, the other souls in the wall start telling their stories. They whisper, they giggle. Sometimes they hum tuneless songs, no lyrics, just sounds repeating over and over. Stay with us, stay with us. I'm terrified of the way they speak, because I can't tell which one of them is me anymore. One night, I hear something in the hallway. The sharp tap of high heels, tack, tack, tack. A woman stops outside room 7 and pulls out a key. I peer through the wall. Shay's in her 40s, well-dressed, moving quickly, probably a short-term renter. "This place is cheap," she mutters. "They said something about ghosts, but whatever." She turns on the light. The white glare sweeps across the room, skimming over faint stains only we can see. She hangs up her coat, puts on some music, then drops onto the bed with a sigh. From inside the wall, I look at her with a strange kind of pity. She has no idea the room is breathing around her. The walls expand and contract just slightly, like the chest of some enormous, sleeping animal. 2:37 a.m. The laughter comes soft at first, barely more than a breeze. The woman opens her eyes, frowns, looks around. "Who's there?" she asks. No one answers. I want to speak, but my voice is no longer mine. I hear myself answer, warped and echoing from the wall. "It's nice here. Stay with us." She sits up straight, staring directly at the wall where I am. "Who is that?" she says, her voice trembling. She grabs her phone and shines the flashlight on the wall. The beam slices through the paint. In that light, she sees a hand pressed from the inside, fingers curling, scratching gently. She screams and stumbles backward, tripping over her suitcase. I slam my hands against the wall, desperate. "Run!" I scream inside. But the other souls burst into laughter, drowning me out. The room shudders. Tiny cracks spider across the wall. Paint flakes drift down like snow. She lunges for the door, but the lock won't turn. The light flickers. In those flashing moments, I see her face clearly, bloodless, eyes wide, and just behind her, a tall, thin shadow is printed on the wall, reaching out a hand toward her. She collapses, shaking. The shadow tilts its head and laughs. The laughter spills across the room, pours into her ears, until finally, she starts laughing too. At first weak, then steady, slow, hoarse, until her laugh blends seamlessly with ours. After that, everything goes quiet. The wall smooths over. She's gone. On the floor, the only thing left is a single earring, glinting gold in the dark. I look down at it, and in that moment, I'm no longer afraid. I see a new smile forming inside the wall, no longer mine. No longer the first girl's, but hers. We stopped counting a long time ago. All we know now is that whenever the clock's hands freeze at 2:37, the laughter comes back, and somewhere, someone will hear it and think, "Someone sounds happy in that little rented room. Room 7 isn't a place anymore, it's a being. Something that feeds on memories, on sound, on fear. I don't know when it was born, or who was the first person to get trapped here. All of us became laughter, loose sounds drifting in the damp air and flaking paint, waiting for someone to walk in so it can start again. Tonight, it's raining. Rain hammers against the metal roof, blending into the tangled chorus of laughter. In every drop that hits, I hear someone calling my name, names I've forgotten, names that used to be mine. Hundreds of voices mingle with the rain, forming a warped melody only this room can understand. Through the wall, I see a young man outside, holding an umbrella, stepping into the hallway. He talks to the landlady, still her, still the same face, not a day older. "Is room 7 available, ma'am? I just need it for a few months." "It is," she answers, her voice soft and raspy. "It's cheap, just a little noisy at night." He laughs, confident. I'm used to noise. Every room has sounds. She hands him the key. Lightning flashes, and for a split second I see the numbers stamped on the metal 9. I go rigid. Inside, the other souls start whispering. Another new one. Hess so young. He'll be laughing soon. The young man opens the door. Light from the hallway spills into the room. I watch him step inside, set his suitcase down, toss his jacket on the chair. He doesn't know that once the door closes, every sound from outside will vanish. I look around. The walls pulse, holding their breath. The air is thick, metallic. We all fall silent. Only the clock hands remain stuck at 2:37. The young man sits on the bed and plays music from his phone. Some light pop song fills the air, ripping through the stale stillness. He taps along, humming under his breath. I can hear every word, every exhale, and in that moment, I realize we're hungry. Hungry for human voices, hungry for real laughter. The first girl whispers, "He sings nicely, just like you did when you first came." I grind out, Don't start again." She chuckles softly. "It's not me, it's the room that's hungry." I press my hands against the plaster. It's warming up, beating in time with the new boy's heart. I feel his breathing carried through tiny holes in the wall. The room inhales, then exhales softly. I know exactly what's about to happen. The music cuts off suddenly. The young man looks around, frowning. Battery died. The lights begin to flicker. He stands and walks over to the outlet, and at that moment, a thunk sounds from inside the wall. He turns his head. "Hello?" No reply. Just a draft of air, icy cold. Then, a soft laugh right beside him. I try to scream, "Run! Don't listen to it!" But my words are swallowed. Only laughter escapes, braided with my own voice, soft, inviting. "Hey, come closer." The young man moves toward the wall, presses his ear to it. He smiles. "Okay, who's messing with me?" The wall cracks open a thin slit. I see him jolt back in surprise, but curiosity glows in his eyes. Weird. He leans in and slips a finger into the gap. The moment he touches it, the wall exhales. All of us laugh at once. The room shakes violently. The wall turns liquid. Before he can pull back, his whole arm vanishes inside. His scream rips the air short, cut off. His body slams against the wall, sinking, being dragged in like something sucked into mud. I turn away, unable to watch, but I can't block out the sounds, bones cracking, laughter layering over laughter, ringing from every corner. Then silence. Only his jacket remains on the chair, soaked as if it had been left in a storm. I look around. The metallic stench returns, heavier than ever. The wall bulges. A new face forms, young, round-eyed, smiling in a terribly familiar way. The first girl murmurs, "Hez handsome." My voice rasps. "Shut up." Above us, the clock trembles. The hand jumps to 2:38. For the first time in years, the hand has moved. The old girl whispers, "Maybe when there are enough of us, it'll stop." But deep down, I know it never will. I don't know what's worse, the fact that the room is alive, or that I'm starting to find it familiar. Every time someone new arrives, I hear laughter, crying, then the wet sound of flesh joining the walls. But this time is different. When the young man disappears, the room doesn't fall quiet again. It breathes, not metaphorically. I really hear its slow, deep, warm breaths. The walls swell and deflate, the floor humming in time. Each breath of the room matches my own heartbeat. I can't tell where I end and it begins. The first girl speaks, airy as a breeze. Hear that? It's awake now. "Awake?" I ask. My voice echoes like in a cave. She answers. "We're just cells. It's the body." I freeze. A dim light seeps in through the window, crack not street light, but a dark red glow. I look outside and go numb. The sky has no stars, no moon. It's coated in something thick and red, slowly shifting, moving in sync with the room's breathing. I ask quietly, "Where are we?" She answers, calm in a way that's more terrifying than anger. Inside it, the room doesn't belong to the outside world anymore. It already swallowed time. I hold my head, shaking. I don't want to believe it. I remember daylight, wind, real voices. But then I realize no one's called my name in. I don't even know how long. The name I once had is just a torn scrap of memory now. The walls start changing color from gray to dark red, then to bruised purple. Each shade moves like bruised skin. From the center of the wall, hundreds of faces surface, warped, overlapping, tangled together, all of them smiling. The first girl says, "That's us. It keeps our faces so it can remember." I want to scream, but my throat is numb. Those faces stare at me, smiling, then all speak at once. "Thank you. Because of you, it lives." I stumble back and hit the mirror. The mirror doesn't reflect me anymore, just a tall, dark silhouette behind me. human-shaped, long, faceless. It rests a hand on my shoulder, warm, heavy, and speaks in my voice. "Don't be afraid. You've been here forever." I spin around. No one's there. The darkness thickens. I back away, hands brushing the wall. It's soft, wet, and beating lightly like a heart. From within, I hear thousands of laughs echoing until they blend into a slow, steady lullaby. A thin slit of light shines through the ceiling. I look up. Something is moving above us like an eye, watching. The landlady's voice glides down, warped and low. "This room is fine now. We can rent it again." The room shivers. Faint greenish light slips under the door. I understand. It's fixing itself up. Cracks mend, paint changes color, everything becomes clean, fresh, ordinary. I hear a key turning in the lock, new footsteps. A middle-aged man's voice asks, "Anyone staying here already?" The landlady answers, "No, no one's been here for a long time." The door opens, light pours in, washing away the stale dampness. A man walks in, pulling his suitcase, looking around, satisfied. "Not bad, just a little dark." I watch him quietly. Part of me wants to scream. The rest of me can only smile. Inside me, the laughter of hundreds of souls rises together, soft, welcoming. When the door closes, the wall clock falls to the floor. The hands spin wildly, then stop back at the same old spot. 2:37. I whisper, my voice melting into the wall, warm and steady, no fear left in it. The room always finds people who know how to laugh, and from deep inside, other laughs follow, endless, gentle, quiet as the night's own breathing. Tonight, everything is oddly calm. No wind, no rain, just a slow, heavy breath, thick as fog, spreading through the room. I can feel that stillness isn't peace, it's the full belly of something that has eaten well, pausing for a moment before feeding again. The new man, I don't know his name, is fast asleep. The warm yellow light from the bedside lamp spills over his face, etching deep lines in the faint curve of his lips, as if he's dreaming something nice. The room trembles softly with each breath he takes. I stand inside the wall, looking out. The other souls are quiet for once. No one speaks. The first girl gently touches my shoulder, her voice barely a whisper. "Are you tired?" I nod. "Yeah, tired. How much longer until it ends?" She smiles faintly, eyes soft like early morning. There's no ending, only breaks. And tonight might be your break. I turn around. The wall behind me shimmers. Each face slowly fades, dissolving into one another like foam on water. The room exhales, lighter than it's ever felt. A narrow opening appears in the bricks, spilling a dim bluish light, calling. "Go," she says. "You've stayed long enough. Someone new is here now." I can really leave?" I ask, my voice trembling. "No one truly leaves. You'll just get to sleep." I look at her one last time. Her black hair covers half her face, her smile gentle, but in her eyes, I see my own reflection. I finally understand. She was me, years ago. And now, I'm just an old laugh, finally fading. I step into the light. With each step, the room recedes. The laughter blurs, replaced by a soft sound, like distant waves. I no longer see walls, doors, anyone. Just white, still light, quiet as mist. Then, suddenly, I hear the ticking of a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. For the first time, the hands are moving again. I turn back. Room 7 is lit up. The new man sits up in bed, rubbing his eyes, sighing. He looks around and mutters, "Weird. Why is the wall so warm?" His hand rests on the exact spot where I just was. The wall shivers. From beneath the paint, a faint glow spreads, spelling out a short line. Laugh. The man smiles. Without thinking, the lamp flickers. The clock hands jerk, then stop in their familiar place, 2:37 a.m. The room draws in a long, slow breath. The laughter softens, flowing into every wall, blending with the night air. I stand in the pale light, watching one last time. Everything grows still, then fades. The heaviness leaves me. Only one final thought drifts through me, light as wind passing through plaster. No one ever really leaves this room. We only rest when the laughter moves on to someone else. The light closes. All sound stops. Room 7 sinks into silence. The next night, when the wind changes, people walking past that narrow alley swear they hear it, someone chuckling softly, just barely, from behind the freshly painted wall.